DJB, welcome to Photo Critic TV, episode number 5. What was that? Aaron, what?
5.
Okay, episode 5. Thanks. Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, to submit your photographs, go to www.photocritictv.com, click on click to submit, top right hand corner of the screen. I'll review your photographs on camera, online, as we go along. You can have a look at my portfolio at www.djbworldphotography.com. Check that out. Okay, let's get into it. Episode number 5. First up is Sue Simon from Melbourne. How's it going, Suze? You are shooting with a Canon 450D 18-55mm lens. Your first photograph of the Vespa, the scooter. A really nice photograph. I like the colours, I like the position of the scooter. You can see a lot of it. You can tell what sort of object it is. The only thing I can think of honestly with this photograph is that there's some writing in the top right hand corner. Although it is out of focus because you've used a lowish depth of field, you can still see it's there, so it's a little bit distracting. So somehow I would have framed that out, maybe just moved around and found a different angle, a different perspective. Maybe zoomed in a little bit, but that may not have solved your problem because you've already filled the frame there, which is fine. But yeah, the lighting is nice. There's no harsh shadows. Maybe you could have warmed it up a little bit, so have a look in any of your post-production tools at the white balance and shift that to the right to warm it up. But again, composition's nice. There's just one distraction, try and get rid of that. But yeah, nice little portrait of the Vespa there. Let's go to the next one. This is another one from Sue. This was taken in a cathedral. Has we got any info about this? Yes, St. Paul's Cathedral. Sue's, what I'd say about this is that it's a little bit busy. I would have tried to simplify this a little bit. I think what's in front of me here is the pipes to the pipe organ, perhaps, unless they're just ornamental pipes. So the left-hand side, below the window, there's a light that's shining straight at the camera. That's a little bit distracting. There's another light below the pipes, right at the bottom of the photograph. That's also a little bit distracting. So I would have probably actually found a different angle entirely to photograph this from. And I probably would have stepped around to your left and had the two pipes on the left and right hand side, and then the kind of, what do you call that? I don't know, like the little house-shaped structure in the middle dividing the two. Just because I think we just need to simplify this a little bit. But the lighting's nice inside. I like the light. There's a kind of an oaky, golden, wooden glow to it. But yeah, find a different angle and simplify a little bit. So it's the last one from yourself. This is just some graffiti in one of the laneways that we probably walked past. Nice photograph. The only thing I can think of is the angle you've chosen is you're not shooting straight on. You've got the wall going a little bit to the right, which makes me want to know more about what's down the right hand side. So I would have maybe stepped back a bit and shown a bit more of what's actually on the laneway, so you could see the wall and then what else is going down the laneway there. And also there's some kind of, it looks like a little red triangle there. I would have just framed that out, so zoomed in a little bit or moved to your right a little bit, because that's taking away, that doesn't really fit in with the blue and the orange that's covering the rest of the photograph. Thank you, Suze. Let's go down to Craig, another one from Craig. Let's have a quick look. Canon 500D with the 50mm f1.8 this time. Nice. So Craig's saying he was fortunate enough to shoot a stunning model, Billy Jade, in a working studio. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can actually see this, but if you look closely, Craig, I can actually tell that you've removed the background from this model. There's actually a slight feathered white kind of ghosty outline around her, which is a little bit obvious to me. So I think when you're doing this kind of post-production work, if I can tell that you've done post-production work on it, then you need to go back and redo it, basically. So I think the whole thing is with developing photographs and photoshopping and that kind of stuff, if the human eye can tell that it's been done, then you've lost all authenticity. So definitely go back to the drawing board with that, and kind of, if you're removing backgrounds and stuff, it's quite difficult, but get rid of that white outline. Also, the light is kind of, you've used the flash here obviously, but the light is kind of white. Have a look at the white balance again here. Make it a little bit yellowy, so she doesn't look as kind of blue. There's like a kind of a bluey cast over it. I would have made it a little bit more yellow. But the composition is nice. Where you've placed her is on the right third line, which is good. The eyes, her eyes are roughly on the third line. Her expression's nice. It's very model-like, and her outfit's cool. So you've done well there. But if you can tell it's been photographed, it's been photoshopped, then I think you've lost it a bit there, Craig. But that's okay. That's a good start. Let's go to the next one. Geraldine. Alright. This is what time it is. It's time to go to Aaron. Off the bat, beyond the frame, Aaron. What's been happening?
Been a busy week.
Doing what?
Seeing people, doing things, and...
Shut up.
Yeah.
Alright. Aaron. 7 seconds off the bat. Aaron's never seen this photograph before. This little section I think I'm going to change it to beyond the frame. Off the bat and beyond the frame with Aaron. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
7 seconds.
Hit me with it.
Alright, ready?
Do it. Okay. I'm going to say it's an irrelevant speed blur.
Irrelevant speed blur, okay. Thanks, Aaron. Geraldine, let's have a look. Okay, so I think Aaron's been quite honest there, which is good, and I actually do agree with him. But what you've done is, I can tell that you've definitely added some kind of Gaussian, or maybe not Gaussian, but some kind of blur in post-production. So it looks as though you were either moving or you were zooming in while shooting the photograph. And I think a little bit here, it's kind of not really necessary, because it's not the parts that are blurred, they're static parts of the photograph anyway, mostly. So the left hand side, the boardwalk, why would that be blurred? Because it's not really moving. But maybe on the right hand side where the water is, it kind of works. But again, you've kind of applied it to the whole outer ring of the photograph. So with this post-production kind of stuff, you have to be very careful. If we can tell straight away by looking at that photograph that you've worked on it in Photoshop and it's obvious, then you need to go back to the drawing board, like I said with Craig and his model shop one. But let's set that aside. Compositionally speaking, Geraldine, this is a nice shot. You place the horizon just above the top third line, which is great, and the water, you can tell that it was kind of a stormy day because of the overcast clouds, and there's a little bit of shade to the clouds, and also the water looks quite rough and you can see a bit of splashing and stuff, which is nice. But I think the post-processing you've done is probably a little bit unnecessary, but that's okay. Let's go to Geraldine's next one. This is same place pretty much. This one, Geraldine, is really nice, but again I can see that you've applied, you've darkened the corners of this photograph with some kind of, I guess, a vignette, but it just looks like you've just gone around the outside and darkened it, and it's really obvious. So you need to make these adjustments subtle so that we can't tell that it's been done. But let's set that aside again. The moment here is really nice. You've just caught, the simplicity is good. You've just caught one guy walking down this pier. The pier is straight down the middle. The horizon is pretty much on the third line. So the composition is nice, the lighting is nice, and I like the simplicity of the photograph. Let's go to the last one from Geraldine. I think this is the best one you submitted, so thanks, thanks by the way for all these photographs, Geraldine. This one is really nice. The thing I like the most, there's two things I like about this photograph. The lighting is really nice. There's a kind of a little bit of a golden glow to the sand and the bridge here. And also the lines and patterns are really kind of intriguing. So this big archway that you've got going from pretty much the bottom left to the top right is interesting to me. and also the, what would you call them, like the support ropes that are connecting the bridge to the archway. I like the patterns that are happening here. So compositionally speaking, this is really, it's an interesting photograph. It keeps me exploring and it's quite pleasing. Horizon, good placement, but maybe I would have placed the horizon a little bit higher, if anything. I think that's about all I can think of. Last submission for episode 5 is from Sean. Shawny boy. Let's have a look. So Sean shooting with a Canon 30D. That's quite an old camera these days, Sean, but that's alright. He hasn't mentioned a lens, which is cool. So this was taken at the Victoria Market in Melbourne. He says he's only used the camera 6 times, so don't expect him to be very good. That's alright. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Alright, Sean, first one, the pig head. The first thing I'm going to say is, I like your choice in black and white. Nice, it works. That little bit of ribbon that's coming out from the right hand side, it looks like it's actually coming out from the pig's nose, so it kind of takes away from the shape. I would have found a different angle there, so that's not an issue. And maybe think about I would have probably moved my camera to the right a little bit more so that the pig's head is more to the left. But that being said, you've placed the eye on the top third, which is nice. Next one. This time, Sean, you've decided to include a few more of the pig's heads and also a bit of the body, but I think what I would have done is actually not even included the pig's body here at all, and just zoomed in and got the 4 pigs' heads, just because you want to simplify this photograph a little bit. Also, the writing in the background, it's not out of focus enough, and I find it's still a bit of a distraction, so what you need to use a different lens that has a lower aperture, a lower f-stop value, so that's more defocused. So move closer or zoom in, use a lower aperture, simplify the photograph, but the black and white's good. Let's go to your last one. This is of just some dude. I don't know where this guy would have been at the Victoria Market, but I like it. He's kind of got cool tats going on and a bit of almost like a weird grungy look. The only thing is the flash that's being used here, I can see the shadow of him on the wall behind. So you would want to move your subject forward so that shadow cannot be seen. You can see it, the shadow here just looks like a black outline. That's the first thing, and probably the only thing, actually, like, I don't know why his eyes are closed. That just strikes me as being a little bit weird, but thanks, Sean. Thanks anyway. That's it, guys. That is it for episode number 5. We will catch you next time.